Welcome back. Here's part two. All right, next step is to make sure that you have confirmed your vertical squares and your horizontal squares. You want to make sure that they match the piece of paper that you're going to be doing. Here we have a 6.5, so 6.5 inch vertical, meaning up and down. And we have about 8 squares, 8 1/4 left to right. So here's what we're going to do some math here as soon as we double check our numbers. We have 8 and 6.5. Okay, so the goal here is to increase or decrease the size of the drawing paper, but it has to be congruent, meaning it has to still have 6.5 squares by 8 squares, no matter what size we do. So we're going to multiply it by 1 inch, just so you see how this works. So if you multiply by 1, 6.5 times 1 is 6.5, and 8 times 1 is 8. Pretty easy math. All right, so let's try doubling this. Times 2, 6.5 times 2, that's 6 times 2 is 12, and then half plus a half is 1, so 12 plus 1 is 13 inches. 8 times 2 is 16. And if we multiply by 3, let's just check it out. 6 times 3 is 18, and then 3 halves is an extra inch and a half. So that's 19 and a half. And 8 times 3 is 24. Feel free to use a calculator for this. It's good to try it out mentally, but do what you can. You can even multiply by 4, 5, 6. But really, here we're going to decide on a 13 by 16 inch piece of paper. Here you go. I grabbed something that wasn't quite the measurement, just so you see how it works. Just make sure that you're not going to cut off anything from your image. So in this case, our image starts flat at the bottom and 6.5 inches up, you get the top of the crown. So everything should fit. And as I pointed out, everything was by 2 inches now because we went by the 2 inch, the doubling of the size. So now everything's going to be twice as large. I'm going to repeat the process pretty soon here. Right now I'm connecting my lines, my dots. Always make sure that your dots connect. So I'm going to use nope, don't grab the pencil from the front or the middle. Grab it by the metal pretty much and glide your pencil over the top of the ruler. That way your marks are really soft, they're erasable, they're hardly even noticeable. Okay, you just need like hairline. Pretend like a hair fell on a piece of paper. How soft would that look? It's not going to look that dark. It's not going to be Sharpie black. You want to make sure it's... All right, here we go. Make sure you get every single one of your marks. Also make sure that your lines are parallel. Double check, make sure that your lines are the same angle as the edge of your paper. Okay, now we're going to make marks at the bottom. We want squares, not rectangles or trapezoids or triangles. If you got triangles, you're doing something completely wrong. So now we are aligning the ruler to the edge to edge, and we're marking the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Don't rotate the paper. 2, 4. So we kept the paper in the same direction. Top is still top, bottom is still bottom. Did not rotate it, and then we marked 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And now, yeah, double checking, making sure that we have a full inch on the left and a half inch on the right, because that's the way our drawing looks. And if your marks are flipped, then you're going to get some diagonal lines, some angles that are coming in at an angle instead of parallel to the edge of the paper. Notice the technique that I'm using. I'm actually putting my pencil lead on top of the first point. You'll see it here in just a second. Dirty camera. Okay, I'm going to put my pencil lead on the first point, align it to the bottom, and then it actually speeds up the process. All right, so now we're about to draw. I'm double checking my mark to make sure that the squares match up. You should have 8 squares that way, 6.5 squares that way, And we're about to start drawing, but before that, make sure you label everything alphabetically, A, B, C, D, E, F, whatever. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the bottom. Do the same thing on your drawing paper, A, B, C, and so on and so forth on up, bottom to top. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way across to 8. This is going to help you identify where you are at all times. And it's better than having to count out every square every time. All right, let's stay tuned for the next video where I show you how to break down a square and how to draw everything 100% accurately. Thanks.